This nice micro is coding something, OpenSuspect Coding stream. So welcome if you are watching this live. Let's get into what I've been working on lately, which is abilities. So currently we have what we call themes and roles assignment, which assigns everyone to be either an agent, which can be either an agent or an infiltrator, or you can be a CIA agent, or you can be a Yugoslav agent. So those are the three possibilities. And because we plan to use the Yugoslavs only when we have more than 10 players, well, currently I only implemented the less than 10 players, which is, so we have CIA infiltrators, agents, and sometimes we have also the counterintelligence agents too. And we also need to implement the role, the abilities that come with these roles. So if you are a CIA agent, you get a new gun. That is basically it. The gun is an ability, and an ability is a resource. And much of the management is done by this game script. So once we start a game, so once the game start button is pressed and we enter the map, the game map, then we go into this function, which will basically handle the assignment of the teams and the assignment of the abilities, and then emit signals accordingly. So this is a function on the server, because the server has to do this, and it does these RPC calls to tell everyone whatever the assigned roles are and the abilities are. And then basically the clients will just receive the abilities and receive the teams and roles. And so once the ability is received, this will also emit the ability assigned signal. And we also have a head-up display, which is nothing at the moment. It looks like just something that's empty, but actually no, this is not. This is the head-up display, I'm sorry. So the head-up display has actually a button on it for starting the game. But it also has this game UI part, which also abilities container. So we can add the ability related things to this container. And if I go back to the code here, you can see that we have this add ability and the abilities functions, which will deal with that. And this is what we did last time. So getting some whining noise on the stream. Oh, I don't know, I thought that only my ear was ringing. Is it? It might be some interference from my computer fans. Yeah, noise level should be much lower now. Thanks for the heads up. I just hit my computer and the fans are less noisy now. This is how you service old equipment. Just hit them with the appropriate amount of force. So, what I wanted to do here is actually this gun does not have any function at all at the moment besides having the name gun. And also this ability button is only just has this text on it, which is, yeah, it looks bad, but it's just a placeholder at the moment. And what we should do now is we should implement killing people if you have a gun. Which means that first of all, we need to have a function that will initiate killing. But also we need that to be done through the server. So you can't just randomly kill someone without the server doing something about it. Which I guess the checks could be implemented here in the game script, which could just check whoever wants to kill and whomever they want to kill. And because in the future we might use other methods of killing, not just the gun, but other, like the other suggestion was like a poison needle, which will not kill you immediately, but after some time. This part could handle also the timer and things like that, and maybe environmental kills could also be implemented here, so you could flood a room with poison gas and then kill everyone inside that. But those should be though related to the map. So that's kind of where I am stuck at the moment. How to implement this. So first of all, what I definitely need to do is so this button has to be connected to the resource that is actually handling the ability itself. So whenever we add this ability, and this button will of course not be a real, it will be something nicer looking, like an actual drawing of a gun, which we actually have a drawing of a gun from the previous implementation, so I should have just prepared that to put it here, but I will do that later. So what we need to do is is it possible to connect the button press action from the code? I think we should be able to do that. And there isn't. Okay, so this is only have a button text, and that's not going to be enough, because what we should have is also, we should have the ability received here too, so we can connect these two things. So this ability, this is actually called through the ability assigned, what is it, signal call, which happens in the game.gd. So we assign the ability with the new ability name and add the ability to the character, so that's fine. So the character actually has the ability, but then we also should add this ability, I think, to the head-up display, so the head-up display button can be connected to that. So here we will add a new parameter, which will be the ability resource, which will be an ability. So we need an ability to receive here, and maybe all abilities should have like variable which stores the graphical representation in some way. Ability node, maybe. This could be a node, I guess. And then we should have a function which will set ability node. Wait, what is our naming convention here? Yeah, I guess not snake case. So set ability node new node, and then just ability node. Oh, this is tab. Actually, tab completion works with it pressing the tab key. Very confusing. And once I have this, I can actually just I guess in the HUD I can call the ability resource dot set ability node and new button. Maybe this should be done at the end here. And then we should have an ability activate function too, which will respond to a button press. But will do nothing at the moment. And so we should connect the new button. So new button dot connect button down, and what is the target? The target is ability resource, and the function is ability activate. So this should actually, yeah, I named it correctly. Great, so I will just print debug ability activated, so I can test this whole thing. And the thing is that because this add ability is always called through a signal, there is no type checking for that, so I will have to make sure that whenever we call this add ability, which is called through the ability assigned call, then we have what we need to, and this is going through the game scene, so this is connected through the game scene. So let's find ability assigned new ability name and new ability. So that is the resource, right? Yes, that's the ability resource. Nicely here also my ability name, it's ability resources. Yeah, and also ability. So now, if I run the game, create a game, and start the game. So I became a CIA agent because I'm the only player in the game that I'm a CIA agent, and I have the gun button in the bottom corner of the game screen here. You probably cannot even read this. This is just done placeholder, and we have ability activated right there. Alright, so that's good. The ability activated button, or the ability works, and I guess now we just really have to make it work. Which is going to be the more difficult part, I can promise you that. So once we did here, because this is just the prototype class, so what I need to do is go to the gun and overwrite the ability activate function here, and so what it should do is it should find the closest character, the character closest to my position. Okay, so my position, and then it should just kills the character immediately. I guess this is the correct spelling. So let's think about it. I was thinking about that. As much as we can, we have to work through this ability script here, because I don't want anything that's specific to this ability to be done by other scripts, because that would be just very confusing on the long term. So is this ability capable of... Okay, so the abilities should also know what player they are connected to, right? So can I do that? Should I? So if people watching the stream can always give me go-goes and no-nos, I guess. And there, I already do a big no-no here, which is doing RPC calls in this scene, which is, I shouldn't be doing this because this is not an auto load, but whatever. This works at the moment. And I haven't come up with a better idea now. So the thing what happens is that we definitely connect when we assign the new ability. Then where is it? Where do we actually add the ability to the characters? Here, add ability. So when we do add ability to the character, can the character resource if I do this add ability to the character resource, which is what contains all the information about all the characters, basically. So here we have add ability. Is it possible to send my... So for example, to just say ability, and I don't know, maybe I will have a set owner function on that, which I don't have yet, and just add self. Can I pass self to that like this? Or should I rather just have signals? But if I have a signal, that would mean that, well, I need to figure out where I am. I mean, I'm thinking loudly as in from the point of view of the gun itself. So when the gun is activated, the gun should know whose gun this is, and also should know that gun should know whose gun it is, and the gun should also figure out who is closest. I think we can do that. But I mean, we can do that, but can we do that with a signal? That's the question. So, but if I want to do it with a signal, yeah, we cannot do this with a signal because I need to gather information. So maybe I can add like to the ability a new variable, which is going to be owner, which is a character resource. Will that work? Let's figure out. Register owner character, no, new owner, and it's a character resource. And this function we'll do is underscore owner equals new owner. We are not even checking anything, just doing it. So once I've done this, I can do ability register owner self. And can I, when I activate the ability, can I reference the owner here? Underscore owner get global position. No, what? Get global position. So can we just print out my global position when I activate my ability? Okay. The class character resource was found in global scope, but its script couldn't be loaded. What the problem with that? What is the problem with that? Why can't I? Did I mistype it? No, it said it's yeah, it worked. It's typed correctly. There's no typo here. So why do we get an error? It's already being loaded. Cyclic reference. So I cannot reference the character resource here if in the character resource I reference the ability. What? What kind of cyclic reference problem do we have here? So in the ability, I cannot register a new owner. So maybe if I just don't give the type here, what will happen then? Error. Character resources found in global scope, but the script couldn't be loaded. It's already being loaded. Cyclic reference. So if I don't have a type for this, then it works. Which is kind of strange, but okay. So I can move around, I can start the game. I mean, whenever I press this button, it tells me my position is printed out. Yeah, so this actually works, but cannot be type checked, which is super weird. Godot, why are you weird? Yeah. Oops. I think this is what Second Drill Zero was talking about last time, that these kind of things break. So that's something I remember them saying they fixed in the latest Godot 4.0 alphas. Yes, I heard that, and it would be nice, because if you don't have type checking in your code, why are you even trying? I mean, it just makes everything so much more messier if you don't have the ability to enforce types. So this actually, we can get our global position here, so why don't we just my position equals owners get global position. Yeah, I need to declare this as what is this? Is it not a, what is it called? Vector 2D or vector 2. And I need to find the closest. So I guess what I could do is for character in characters dot character get character resources is going to be the ID of the character, and if ID is not, if ID is how do I get my own ID? No, connections. No, how do I get my own ID? I always, there's something like a get root something, right? Get something. I always forget this. Oh, How the hell did I get my own ID? This is embarrassing, I'm sorry. Get tree, get network, unique ID. Oh yes. How can I forget this one? What method getTree isn't declared in the current class? Do I have to do getRoot, getTree? GetRoot is not declared in the current class. Excuse me, what? So is this because this is a resource, so I cannot do this in a resource? Is it because of that? Do we have to do something else? So character resources we never... So we have a network ID here, but... we never reference getTree here. Yeah, I guess. Maybe you cannot do that. That's strange. That is indeed very strange. So, what else can I do? I can just use an autoload. Do I have a in a connections get my name? I don't know. So if I just add a get my... Oh, there is actually a get my ID in the connections function, so can I connections.get my ID? I can do that, but I cannot access getTree directly from here. Alright. I guess you don't have that function in a resource. Maybe, yeah, maybe that is only available for nodes and not for resources. Would make sense actually. That would make sense. Yeah. Alright, so if it's not me, then we need to calculate a distance. So let's have a, which is a vector too also, and then other position equals wait. This actually returns a dictionary, so why don't I just do this and the character dict, and then other position is character dict id dot get global position. And we can calculate the distance, so yes, that's a floating point number, which will be the distance equals my position minus other position And yeah, we need to calculate the length. Yes. Yeah, it's length method. You should use distance squared to method on the vector too. Oh, you can just do distance squared too, like my position distance. Oh, we even have a distance too. But distance squared too is probably the faster one. Yeah, and we can just add the other position there, and then we just need to find who's the closest. Yeah, squared is faster because vector math. Yeah, because if you don't want the squared, you need to do an additional square root. So what is this? Is there a find minimum in Godot, or do I just write my own minimum here? Var distance, and also have, like, let's say min_dist. Can I just declare two variables together here? No, I cannot. All right. And I guess if distance is smaller than min_dist, or min_dist equals 0, then min_dist equal distance, and closest ID equals ID. We can also take a check, like what is the minimum distance or the maximum distance we want to let people shoot each other. But for that, I guess I will have to just try to, like, figure out how distance works in Godot. I guess. Probably. Yeah, well, if I wanted to... Maybe this is a dumb idea, because Godot already can handle, like, keep in mind that you're painting the square distance there. You probably don't care, but just for your, yeah, distance, you're right. I mean, I'm just thinking about whether it makes any sense, because Godot itself can actually, So maybe instead of all this bullshit I'm doing here, would it be simpler if I also had, when I add the gun to our character, shouldn't the gun ability also have a node? Because if we have a node, then I can just go to the character and just parent a node onto this character, maybe parent, like a whatever this is called, a collision shape. So the gun should be a collision shape, which would it, or would it be just overcomplicating things? It might even just be an overcomplication if I wanted to use that. So currently, let's just close this one and go back to our gun here, and let's just run this. And I want to have others in the game, so I will have to run a few more other instances. Collision shape to determine the max distance. Yes, that's what I was kind of thinking about. How can we... But that would mean that we need both resource and nodes for the gun, which might be an overkill. Alright, so now let me just go very close here. Let's, oh no, that first, oh, but I want the server to be the CIA. So, yeah, okay. So now if I come here, press the gun. Closest player 844 something, distance squared is 18,000. Now my closest player is the other, even if I am here. Yeah, I guess. It's a reasonable way to do it. It might help performance too, because it wouldn't need to iterate and get distances to all characters, only the ones inside the collision. So maybe, yeah, that's kind of what I was contemplating here while I'm just sliding through. This is like a skating game now. Alright. How could we do that? Maybe that would be like, let's just try it, because, you know, oops. You never know if you don't try it. Well, this one I, of course, will keep it as it is, but let's go back to our... Okay, so characters, assets, this is related to our map, so we have gun here. So I think I just create a new scene, gun. 2D scene, yes. And it's called gun. And we will add the... Yeah, I guess I have to just... You could just enable it when needed. Yeah, I want this to be flexible. So some maps would have a gun, some maps would have something else, and each map could have their own thing. So that's why I was thinking to, you know, just... Because a gun would work from a higher distance maybe than like a poison needle, or maybe in some version you might even want to have a higher, like a longer range gun or something like that. So that's why I'm trying to just make it modular, I guess. And the collision shape 2D, is that what I'm looking for? Yeah, collision shape 2D. So this will be called kill zone. Sniper rifle, yeah, and even we could make it like you can only shoot in the direction you look with some weapons. Like have a collision shape that's not symmetrical. I need it to be rotated 90 degrees. And visibility, light mask, what? Do we need that? What does light mask has to do with collision shapes? But how does this work in here? This collision shape works. So do we? Am I sure this is collision shape what I'm looking for? Because I don't want it to actually collide. I just want it to be area 2D with a collision shape. What does area 2D do? Area for detection, what? Detection of physics and audio influence. Yeah, okay, so this one, physics override audio bus collision. Oh, yeah, this is what I'm looking for. Because and so this shape defines the area. So if I don't have this shape here, if I just delete it for a moment, yeah, then we have this triangle here that it has no shape, so it needs to have the shape. And this layer is physics layer. Collision objects can exist in one or more. Yeah. And contact is detected if object A is in any of the layers that object B scans, or object B is in any of the layers that object A scans. Collision mask, yeah, but which one is where I exist? Because what I want to detect is this collision oh, but this collision shape, maybe this should also be part. Oh no, this is because we have, oh yeah, this collision shape actually, okay, so now I get it. So this collision shape defines the shape for this character, but this is the collision layer is for this character. So maybe I should name these layers. Yeah, thank you for Monban for this. I almost forgot how this works. Well, I actually forgot it. So, where do I name my collision layers? Yeah, that's probably project settings, not editor settings. No? 2D. Where on earth do we name project setting layer names? Oh, it's going to be layers. All right. Layer names. That is what I'm looking for. So, players collide. Do I have to give a shorter name? I don't know. And then what else? Layer 2. What should be the difference between render layers and... Oh, yeah, this is probably the render layers, and I'm looking for the physics layers. Alright. Yep. It's further down there. So physics collide. And then we also... Well, I guess... Let's leave this first 8 empty, and maybe kill zone would be 9. So now no, it doesn't show up here. Did I not save it? Okay, now it works. Ability range. Ability range. Yeah, I guess ability range is a better name, because it can be more than that, and so the characters will be present on players collide and will mask players. So they will have to collide to each other, so they have to be on 1-1 basis here. The gun, however, will not be on anything, but will be the ability range. So hopefully, am I getting this right? If the mask... No, this should be in a kill zone. Am I getting this right? That this ability range... No. No, I probably don't. I think it has to mask players collide. No? Alright, do I have to look it up on the internet? Maybe I'll just have to look it up on the internet, because I just got super confused here. So let's open the Godot documentation together. The overlapping bodies collision object collision layer must be part of this area's collision object collision mask. Okay, so what Monban is telling me in the chat is that the mask, so the overlapping bodies collision object to the collision layer must be part of this area's collision object. So overlapping bodies collision layer, which is this, must be part of this area's collision mask to be detected. So the collision layer of the character, which is layer 1, has to be masked by the kill zone in order to be detected. I guess that what it should... So this is the detection. The mask is what it detects and layer is where it is. That makes sense, I guess. So now we just have to be able to add this kill zone Yeah, which is what, yeah, that's from the documentation for the get overlap in bodies function, which I imagine you will be using to find the players in the zone. Yeah, hopefully. That makes a lot of sense. And I just have to kind of, let's compare sizes here. Yeah, I guess we can make it a little bigger later or now. Players will need to collide on layer 9 and the kill zone needs to mask on layer 9. But the players collide on layer 1, so the kill zone can mask layer 1. I mean, or we can, because layer 1, layer 1 is only players, I guess. And then we can, oh, not sure anymore. Yeah, we'll just have to figure out as we go, I guess. That is what it is. So what I need to do is go back to scripting and whenever I add my gun, where is my gun? So we have this ability but now this will be confusing because this ability node is on the HUD. So ability HUD node should be its name. And now there will be some problem somewhere. Calling a function. Set ability HUD node will be oh damn. Yeah, ability resource set ability HUD node, and also whenever our ability is registered, so we should overwrite this in our gun. Is there a super function in Godot? Can I do super? No? Or do I have to do ability dot register owner? Is this legal? Non-static function register owner can only be called from an instance. So I cannot just call maybe I have to do this trick where I have two functions. This one and I will call the one with the underscore here, and then so here I can just call the one with the underscore, I guess. No? Functions override functions within the same name, or basically if you want to call them, use dot. Can I just use dot? Wow, actually, this looks very silly, but it is what it is. And so I need an instance. Node. And that will be how do I instance a node from a file? How do I instance node from a file? Basic things I forget when I don't work in this programming language for 3 weeks. So we create a new character. What do we do? Oh, I don't know. That's in characters.gd, of course. What? Create character node. How do we create a character node? We instance a character scene, and the scene we load with preload character scene path. All right. Gun range scene preload. What is the gun? src something. No, res / something, right? Game / maps / camlab / gun.tscn. Gun range scene.instance and yeah, and then we can do the add child once we tell our owner, which is a character resource. So does it have a get node? No? Get character node, that's what I need. Get character node. Add child. Gun range. Will it work? Let's figure out. Oh, I like these random figures that come up here. So now if I open, come on. So now if I go to the debugger, remote, game, characters and character, and we have a gun. So yes, it works. Now the gun is on the character. Very good. So this worked. And now maybe we want to store the gun range scene, like this whole thing. Maybe we want to store, and we can use this Yeah, I think it makes sense. Gun range, what is it? Node. And I will just use the gun range node here. And so here maybe, how do we detect collisions? So Munban wrote it in the chat already. Which we can use the what is the so the gun range node, should it be okay? So let me just think about this a little more. What if, because now this is a node 2D which has an area 2D on it. Well, do we need anything else on this except for this area 2D? Why don't we just make the whole gun an area 2D? Just change type to area 2D. Make it there and remove this. Doesn't it make more sense? I think it makes more sense. And I can state that gun range node is area 2D. So I can get tab completion. Whatever is possible to be done with this. So what I need to figure out is what's inside this collision thing. But get colliding bodies or something. Yeah, it should be somewhere around here. Get instance ID, get groups, get global, get collision layer, get collision, get scene. Get overlapping bodies, that's it. And I wonder what the hell that will give us. So search for me. Area 2D, get overlapping bodies. So, returns a list of intersecting physics body 2Ds. The overlapping bodies collision object 2D collision layer must be part of this area's collision object 2D collision mask. Yeah, that's it. For performance reasons, this list is modified once during the physics step, not immediately after objects are moved. Consider using signals instead. But yeah, I just care whether something is in it or not. I don't need to follow whether something is exiting or entering it. I want to see whether something's in it at the time of pushing the button. So for here, the problem is whatever is going to be in this gun range node. So it says it's physics body 2Ds, and character is a physics body 2D. So this probably I will be able to use the character.gd functions there. And I will try to figure it out in a few minutes, but I'll have to go and have some water. My throat is dry. I'll be back in 1 or 2 minutes. Oh. Do this. And the character... Or can I just use the first character I get in this? But then that would be weird, probably. Hmm. I definitely have to get the player ID somehow, so... Do I have something on the character node? Get network ID. I guess I can. First of all, it's an integer and equals to character dot get network ID. Is this the correct function name? Yes, it is. And then other position is just, I can just get the character's position. And is the get global position a regular function? I think it would be. No? No. This actually... Do we have... Oh, but we have get global position specified by ourselves. We did that. Great. So distance is calculated the same way. And now, if the game actually starts, and I press the gun, it says closest player 1, distance 0. Great. So let's run OpenSuspect a few more times, and let's join game. Start game, of course. Oh, and I got CIA for first try. Alright, so now if I just press gun, I don't have anyone close, but if I move here, alright. Great, now I just need to do something about it. So if distance, no, if min_dist larger than 0, kill closest ID, and of course now I have to make a function called kill, and killed ID will be an integer here. And how do we kill people? So first of all, the abilities, because we need server-side authority. So the server actually has to be able to check whether this kill is valid or not. But this is not specific to the kill. This would be for every ability there should be a check function which can double check whether or not this the use of the ability is possible at this at this stage. So every ability has to have a function that will ask whether it can be activated or not, and that will return a boolean. And I guess default will just return default behavior will be just the return false. Maybe a dictionary as the properties of the activation of this ability can be a dictionary, can be stored in a dictionary. So well. Yeah, then in a gun case, we should probably use a dictionary here too. Just to make it compatible with everything else. So this will be a dictionary of killed closest ID, because I don't know. So in Python you could just do, you know, quarks, and that would be nice, but I don't think Godot has anything similar to that. And so excuse me, game function, or the game scene, which is controlling everything about the game, should have a function for the server, or rather just there should be a general function which will just simply an ability activation. And parameters dictionary, which will do nothing more but RPC ID 1 and calls a function on the server, which will be something like this: ability activate server, and then parameters so I need to make a server function. So these are the server functions here. A master sync ability act server, and receives a dictionary. No, it's func master sync. What? No. Func is master sync func. Where do I put sync? If not here. Func master sync. That's my DJ name is func master sync. Where do I put sync? Oh, I have to. Damn it. There is no space between those. Because master sync is definitely one word and not two words. No way it would be two words, it's one word. But our DJ name is Funk Master Sync, and that's a very good DJ name. I approve. So, first of all, just let's pass it for the time being. But here, when we actually activate an ability, maybe these parameters, how should I call this? So this should be maybe a signal. This should be probably a signal, which makes me sad that I have to add one more signal. Alright. Excuse me. Probably have to have a signal. Signal killed. And then probably properties ability equals gun. I mean, name. Of course, I need to use name here. And just emit signal, kill, and the properties. But this signal has to be connected to this. How do I connect my signal? So, when we actually I guess we can connect the signal here, because anytime we can just call transition handler dot game scene dot connect, and the signal we connect is kill. The object we connect to no, the target, this is, no, that's the target. And then ability something. What was this function called? Ability activate. So now let me just test this and print debug parameters. Will this even work? First of all, I need someone that I can kill, so I need to run another instance. And once we have these two, let's go close so I can kill you. Oh no, first I need to start the game. I'm sorry. So, now, if I go to you and wait, I am the bad guy here. Because we'll go back to the lobby. I need to be a CIA agent to this, for this to be working. Now I'm gunning. Okay, so now I'm far away, nothing happens. If I'm close, ability, gun, killed. Alright. Seems to be working okay, so let's just... So we received the parameters here, which is good. We call the ability... Okay, so actually... I might need to sleep after we see this works. It's almost 4 AM here. Oh, you've been up for very late. You should go to sleep soon. Yeah, so I think the actual murder will be implemented later. And what I will do here is just rename this function to ability check server. No. Ability act server, that's actually a good name. I won't rename that actually. And what I will do is parameters, there is the ability, there is a function somewhere that gives me something. I will not do the test today because I'm also kind of tired. So I'm just going to probably just commit this. I will just write something here. I will add whatever we need here. So first of all, ability player equals get tree get RPC and sender ID. And then var ability name equals parameters ability. Expected type, yeah, that's a string. And what else? There was a way to get first of all, characters dot get character resource ability player. And can we check whether the character has an ability? Add ability, reset ability is ability. Yes. So we can just check whether the character has the ability. Is ability name. And if that is true, we also need to just have a get ability function that will give me the reference to the and ability name, and will actually return an ability. This will be the same, but null, and the return ability. Nice and simple, but then why do I use this is ability in this case when I could just ability instance will be ability character dot get ability name. And then we can test. So this ability will have the canActivate function, and we can just ask ability instance dot can activate parameters. And in the end, what will be done is the gun will have a function which will be called can. Well, yeah, let's just copy this over there and we'll just print debug properties. And we will also, let's just print debug. Like just this thing. Now it's good. So now if I run this, it doesn't matter who the killer will be, because now the server should receive whatever's going on here. So let's join game on localhost. Join game localhost and start game. And I am a counterintelligence person. So this guy, this square guy, this guy is the killer. There's a gun over here, so I can press the gun. And if I go back to my debugger, nothing happens for some reason. Did I just not stand close enough to you? Yeah, it's not working. Something's not working. So something does not work. We already figured out that the ability activate, that works. I can prove it by printing out the parameters. The RPC call is working, we know that for sure. Yeah, so this point should be working, and RPCing ability act server with parameters. But there is, so we didn't have any debug message from here. So this debug message did not get to run. So this ability activation function was not called. So because once if and the 2 players should be enough for this to test. So let's start the game. So if now I am the CIA agent. So now if I go to this other person and press gun, we can see that the ability, the gun ability, so the ability activation here, not here, ability activation here, where are we? This one, this worked because this is printed out. Line 100 and what? Oh no, line 40 what? At gun.gd. Oh! Yeah, ability activate, this one is that, line 93. And then, oh well, but now player who activated, so this was actually called player who activated number 1, and then ability gun, so the can activate, this one also got to run. So this worked when I am the killer. Okay, so now I have to try again not to be the CIA agent. Great. And so now if I'm getting killed by this person, yeah, I don't know, because there's nothing there. So if I just spam, there's nothing happening. So this, why does it not get called? Is it because it's master? Should it be just remote sync? Is that what the problem is, that for some reason, even though I am the server, remote sync will work? I thought master sync should have been working here because the server is the master on the network. And run more time, one more time, and join. So now I am agent, so the other person is the CIA, so he can kill me. Gun. And it's not working. Something is not happening here. What should be happening is not happening. So if I... Why is it not working though? Let me just run it in the opposite direction. So I run the server here. And then I run a client on the debugger. And let's start the game. But I want the debugger to be the CIA now. Nice, so CIA is on the debugger. And now if I go and shoot my gun, nothing happens. Okay, so the problem is somewhere else. So the client, the gun just generally does not work on the client. The gun just generally does not work on the client. So something, abilities assigned, because here when the abilities are assigned, what do I do? For some reason, when I assign the abilities, so when I receive, this is the receive ability function, and it does the ability assigned signal, it's emitted. The signal and the ability name, the signal is emitted, so ability assigned signal. That's connected in the hod.gd. So that's only related to the HUD. Add ability, but I also have to my character, get my character resource. Teams, roles, file names. Yeah, that's alright. My character dot add ability, new ability. So somehow when I receive my ability, so this up until this point things work because the button appears on the screen. What? Now is not the time to get distracted with tooling, but RG is a really nice replacement for grep. It's faster and like the command line better. Alright. RG, I have never heard about that. New ability, and I add the ability to the character. So where the hell? Oh, it's character resource. Ability register owner dot self, and then I just have no idea what is different when we are on the server. So when we are on the server, let me just check. So when we are on the server, emit signal, that's fine. The abilities equal team roles. So we get all the abilities assigned here, and for each character resource add ability. And this one is the same here. My character just, and the server we do it for every character. Maybe it doesn't, but it does receive the ability because the button appears on the screen. Alright. I officially have no idea what's going on here. So that when I add the character, so on the server we have each character has the ability added by default because the server has to know everyone's abilities, but the clients only has to know their own abilities. So it's got every player gets RPC'd their own ability, and they just receive it and add it to their character. Don't they? I mean, my character add ability, then here it adds the ability, and then also registers owner on the ability. So what gun? Register owner. Is there something here that's going wrong? So, I don't know. Or maybe in kill. Yeah, let's just check the debugger outputs over there. And first, let me create a game here. And then let's join here. And yeah, I have to start the game here, and that's now the debugger is a regular agent, so of course no gun. Now the debugger gets the CIA, so maybe for testing you should give everyone a gun, might make it faster. Yeah, that's true. Everyone, you get a gun, you get a gun, and you get a gun. Everybody gets a gun. Yeah. Thing is, gun has been registered to resource at the gun.gd register owner. So this point is fine. That's America. Welcome to the stream, Aman Setia. Yeah, that was a good joke. So and if I press gun, then nothing happens. So the kill function is never called. I should have probably also put a debug message over here. Yeah, let me give everyone a gun before we move forward with this. And close this one. Let's print debug. How do I give everyone a gun? Not here, but here. Just remove this if statement. And everybody gets a gun. Alright. So once that I need to create the game here, and I can join from the debugger. Let's find localhost. Let's start. So we got a gun, you got a gun, everybody got a gun. Next time maybe I should implement a nice gun pictogram instead of this very ugly button over there. But what happened until now is that it got registered, so that's good. If I press the button, ability activated. And ability activated was here. So do we just never... Okay, maybe I get closer. Yeah, but ability activated but never killed. Let me just check one thing here quickly. So in the remote scene tree, characters, and one of the characters, yeah, the gun is on, the gun node has been added, so the collision layer. Wait, what? Why is the collision layer 1-1? But anyways, must be the range check. It's all I can think. Yeah, that's... But why does it work for the server and not for anyone else? What if I just... No, I cannot make... How do I just comment out... How do I comment out everything here? Or... It's Control/. Yeah... Okay, it does not work because I don't have an English keyboard. That's unfortunate. Or I don't know, maybe some other reason, but yeah. I don't think that's the shortcut I was guessing. Oh, okay. So maybe that's the problem. Okay, let's stop this. And just print everything. Print ID here. Control K, K for comment. Wow, super nice. That actually works. K for comment makes a lot of sense. Okay, so now let's create a game. Join game. Oh, hello, my clone. Yeah, the ID, so actually ability activated and all the IDs appear there. Baldy fight, whoever wins, we lose. Makes sense. So we go through all the IDs, that's for sure. That works. So I guess nothing else remains but just print the minimal distance. Closest ID is ID. Get network ID and also... Wait! I know what's the problem. I know what the problem is. That we don't check whether a character... But I don't know, then why does it work on the server though? I think... Because the problem is... I know, I think I'm not sure, but I just had a revelation and I might be right. But let's not get our hopes too high. So the thing is that we have this character, and the character is layer 1 mask 1. And of course the gun kill zone is... where are we? Why is it layer 1 again? What did happen? What did just happen here? Am I looking for something different than that? That weight is something, the weight is something everyone has said while coding, yes. What happened here to my players collide and ability range things? First of all. But second of all, I don't know. This one, so the collision, this collision shape is always in the gun once the gun gets put on the character. What the hell is going on? So if I start this, I check the debugger, game, characters, character. So the character is on collision layer 1, collision mask 1. That's nice. Gun, collision layer 9, collision mask 1. Okay, so now this is how it should be. But what I don't know. No, gun. Here's gun. So maybe the okay, I got it. I figured it out. So what if, when we go through this, this will always go through in the ascending order of the IDs. So first will always be the server with ID number 1. Then whatever ID is the other player, and then so on and so forth. So first we go through this loop. It's in server, and if we are the server, then it checks, goes through this loop, gets the other position, gets the distance to himself, because the server is in the range. The distance is 0, but because the minimum distance is set to 0 as initialization, it ignores it and just goes through again, and we enter the second person ID, and then that distance is of course not 0, while the minimum distance is 0, so that will be changed to whatever that is, and therefore we will get the closest ID as for that character. While if we are not the server, then we want to kill the server, so you go through this one. The minimum distance is 0, because that's what it was initialized to, so we will just save the minimum distance at whatever distance we are at from that person and save the ID. But then when we move to the next one, which is me, so I'm always 0 distance from myself, but the minimum distance has already been increased to the distance between me and the other. So the distance is 0 and it's smaller than the minimum distance, so it's set back to 0, and the ID is set back to myself. But because minimum distance is set back to 0, this function does not run. Because I forgot to check whether I am, because I assumed that the own character, the character who has the gun, does not count in this area, but the character is in the range and does count. So if ID equals, no, it's not an error, what is it called, connections dot get my ID, continue. So always ignore myself. It may be set min_dis to -1 or something as your first time through check. Yeah. And also, or maybe, I mean, isn't this the clearest one if I just always skip if it's myself? Or just set it really high or something. Yeah, but can I set it infinite? I can set it to infinity. So this time, let's just think about it one more time. So this time if I get my own ID, I just skip whatever is going on. And if and I'll just print no one to kill here. And so if I just create a game, well, not here. I need a different instance to create. And join here. Start. So now if I am really far away and I press my gun kills 0. Emitting kills. Okay, so something's still not working. Because now it should be no one to kill. Oh, but I'm stupid. Because now this check doesn't make sense, of course, because I set it to infinity. Now that I set it to infinity, now I have to have a different check here. So maybe closest ID to -1 and closest ID not equal to -1. And that's what it should be. That's what it should be. Yes. Did I stop? Yes. Okay, let's create another server. Let's join here from the debugger. Let's start. And if I go here, no, here, in the debugger, press gun. So, ability activated, emitting kill signal. And gun killed 1. Yeah, okay. So this works. But what I wanted to test originally, when things went awry, was that if I run the server here, do I receive the... Well, I guess I can just check that if there is no one around me, I cannot kill anyone. No one to kill. No one to kill. Great. So no one's around, there's no one to kill, and I can also test this again. So I'm far away, no one to kill. Great. And now if I press the gun on the client, let's go close, press the gun on the client. What do we see here? Ability activation by server, player who activated, ability gun killed 1. Yeah, so now this is game.gd, line 174. Player yeah, so the ability activation gets run by the like from there, and so the client sends the ability activation like through the RPC. We get the ID from the RPC, and then we can check whether the ability is alright and the gun does the can activate check, which is just a dummy function, and it works. And the other thing is that if I press the gun, then the ability activate will just activate here at the other player. Yes, let me just increase this. Yeah, so now the server is killing that player, so the server is number one who activated, and then that's also get called because it's a remote sync function. So the RPC call goes through locally, and then the gun can check whether, alright, seemingly we solved the problem. Now the gun works, now the server can validate, even though it's not validating it actually. So I can remove all these print debugs. Yep, and this will be, now we will finally, once we have that, the server can check whether the ability can be activated, and then we can then implement the murder itself. So maybe these functions will have to be renamed later, but now at least the server can validate whether the kill is possible, and then we will have to also implement dying. And then I guess that will be our next episode sometime in the future, or maybe I will just work on it by myself. I'm not sure yet about that. So last thing we need to do is we don't need to give everyone a gun. This game is not played in America. It's East Germany in the 1950s, so only the CIA agents have guns. All right. So last thing we have to do is save everything. Git status, let's see how much did we change. Git diff. So what is this? I don't know. Oh, added a lot of functions. A lot of green is good. If your git diff is full of green, that means something happened. Git add and git commit. What should be the commit message for this one? No, killing with guns. I like to see a lot of red in my diff. Delete that old code. Yeah, sure. That also makes sense. I sign the commit if I can. Yep, and then come on, work. Git push origin teams roles. What? Why doesn't it work properly? No? Alright, okay. Now, let's check the graph. Nice. Teams roles have been updated with killing with guns can be validated by the server. You cannot super drag that box. Maybe it's not the one floating layer. It's DWM. Yeah, that's somehow the secret box for the I don't know what was that. That was the key for the SSH for updating, because signing the commit I can move that box, but I cannot move the box of the other one. But anyways, so I guess GitHub, nice micro OpenSuspect. So we are on the, what is it? Not this one. We need OpenSus, nice micro / OpenSus. That's what we are on, and we are on the branch themes roles now. Alright. So if you want to check out the code, this is what you should be looking at. And yeah, I am leaving, so thank you for joining me today. It was a blast and we achieved some progress, which is always nice. And Monban, you should be sleeping probably, like probably 5 years ago, 5 hours ago. But anyways, have a good night. Thank you for watching and goodbye everyone. It's only 4:30. Well, good night.